Hi students, welcome back to all 4 C-Learning chemistry classes. Today we are going to start session 16 under the same area, stoichiometric calculations. In the previous session, that is in session 15, I have introduced to you the sequential and parallel reactions, and one numerical also we have discussed. So in this session also, this is the first question what I am going to discuss with you. Please note it down, students. Calculate the amount of magnesium and calcium carbonate, write down, required to produce 30 kg of urea, according to the following sequence. He has given the sequential reactions. First, write down, students, write down all these balanced equations they have given. Magnesium on reaction with nitrogen forms magnesium nitride. Please write down. Magnesium nitride on reaction with water gives ammonia and magnesium hydroxide. And ammonia produced in this step will be utilized here in the final step. And in the third one, calcium carbonate decomposition, where you will get carbon dioxide. And ammonia coming from this step and carbon dioxide coming from this step will react with each other and forms urea. And finally, he is asking you to calculate how much amounts of magnesium and calcium carbonate are needed to produce 30 kg of urea. Okay, students, let me explain the solution of this. First of all, let me write down the moles here. Observe, 3 moles forms 1 mole of magnesium nitrate, and 1 mole of magnesium nitrate produce, write down, students, 2 mole of ammonia. This is 1 mole calcium carbonate produce 1 mole carbon dioxide. Here 2 moles ammonia are combined with 1 mole carbon dioxide forms 1 mole urea. Here our target is we have to produce 30 kg of urea. Forget this kg for some time, leave it aside, and I am going to take it as 30 grams simply. At the end you will understand why I have taken that. Please follow the explanation. We know the urea molar mass. If you calculate the molar mass of NH2CONH2, the molar mass is 60 grams urea. Urea molar mass is 60. 60 means 1 mole. Now my target is only 30 grams. So how many moles? Half mole. So my requirement is only 0.5 mole. Here 1 mole is coming from 1 mole. So 0.5 moles also should come from 0.5 mole, because mole ratio is 1:1. Here 2 moles are forming 1 mole. It means you can also write like this: 1 mole of urea is formed from 2 moles of ammonia. Here I required only 0.5 moles. So how much I have to take? 1 mole. Because mole ratio is 2:1. So you can write this 1 mole as, students, 2 into 0.5. Okay, stoichiometry is not at all disturbed. So finally, I got the requirement of carbon dioxide and ammonia to produce 0.5 mole, that is 30 grams of urea. Okay. Now, from where I am getting this carbon dioxide? From here, by decomposition of 1 mole of limestone, always we will get 1 mole of carbon dioxide. Here my requirement of carbon dioxide is 0.5. So 0.5 comes from only 0.5 mole. Okay. So my final requirement of limestone or calcium carbonate is 0.5 mole. We know molar mass of limestone 100 grams, 0.5 mole means 50 grams. Leave it aside. For 30 grams it is 50 grams needed. Half of the question we have evaluated now. Now we have to go for the next sequence, that is for ammonia. To produce 30 grams of urea, that is 0.5 mole of urea, the requirement of ammonia is 1 mole. Now you have to go for this. Here your requirement is 1 mole. Here 2 moles are coming from only 1 mole of magnesium nitrate. 2 moles of ammonia is coming from 1 mole of magnesium nitrate. Here only 1 mole. So our answer is here 0.5 mole. So magnesium nitrate requirement is 0.5 mole because 1 mole gives 2 mole. So 0.5 mole gives 1 mole. So our requirement here is 1 mole. 1 mole. Observe it, students, very important. So 0.5 moles. So my requirement of magnesium nitrate is 0.5 mole. Just now I have written here. Now observe the first balanced equation. 3 moles gives 1 mole. 3 moles gives 1 mole. But 0.5 mole comes from how many moles? 1.5 moles. Because by 3 moles gives 1 mole. 3 by 3, 1. 1.5 mole by 3. How much you will get? 0.5. 0.5 mole of this. Okay, that sequence will go. So here my final requirement of magnesium is 1.5 mole. Magnesium atomic mass to 24, we know 1.5 into 24, 36 grams. Now I will change the answer, students. Here my requirement is 30 kg. So you change this as 30 kg. You change this as 50 kg. If I start with kg, you will get 10 power minus 3, 10 power minus 3, 10 power 10 cube, 10 cube, 10 cube, 10 cube, 10 cube, 10 cube like that. So all 10 cubes will be that's why by taking grams I have solved for simpler calculation, and finally I have changed them as answers into kg. 36 kg of magnesium and 50 kg of calcium carbonate. Once I will repeat the explanation, students, very important. Here our requirement is to produce 30 kg of urea. Forget about kg for some time. I will take only 30 grams. Okay, no problem. So 30 grams means half mole because urea molar mass is 60. 1 mole means 60. Here 0.5 mole is our requirement because I have taken only 30 grams. At the end of the explanation I will change this into kg, no problem. So 1 mole gives 1 mole. 0.5 mole come from 0.5 mole. Here 1 mole is coming from 2 moles of ammonia. So my requirement is 0.5 mole. So it should be 1 mole. Half of this. Out of 2 only 1. Out of 1 you will get 0.5. So carbon dioxide need here in this process is 0.5 mole. But carbon dioxide is forming from the decomposition of limestone. So 1 mole is coming from 1 mole. So 0.5 mole should come from 0.5 mole. So 0.5 into molar mass of calcium carbonate 100, that is 50 grams. But as given kg, so I have changed it into 50 kg. Half of the question is over. Here along with carbon dioxide I have calculated the moles of ammonia required. Write down the moles here. Ammonia is forming in this reaction. 1 mole magnesium gives 2 moles, double. 1 mole magnesium gives 2 mole. So 0.5 mole should give 1 mole because requirement here is only 1 mole. So it should come from 0.5 mole. But from where this magnesium nitrate is coming? From the first reaction. So in the first reaction 3 moles of magnesium gives 1 mole. It means 1 by 3. So 1.5 mole by 3 you will get 0.5 mole. Our requirement is also 0.5 mole. So it should come from how many moles of magnesium? 1.5. Magnesium atomic mass is 24. So 1.5 into 24, 36 grams, but it has given as kg, 36 kg. Okay, students, so please note it down and then I will go for next numerical. Okay, students, Let me go for the next numerical. You please write down. I will read the question. You please write down carefully. 120 grams of magnesium was burnt in air to give a mixture of 120 grams of magnesium was burnt in air to give a mixture of magnesium oxide and magnesium nitride MgO and Mg3N2, which is now dissolved in HCl, to form magnesium chloride MgCl2 and ammonium chloride NH4Cl. If 107 grams of ammonium chloride NH4Cl is formed, calculate the moles of magnesium chloride formed. That is the question, students, and he has given the set of the reactions that you should follow. Sequential reactions. Magnesium on reaction with oxygen gives MgO. Write down the student, write down the equations. And magnesium oxide thus obtained will react, dissolve in HCl to form magnesium chloride. Same time, magnesium also reacts with nitrogen, forms magnesium nitride. Sequentially, again it is also dissolved in HCl to form a mixture of magnesium chloride and ammonium chloride. Please write down the equation, students. And first of all, let me write down the moles. 1 mole of magnesium forms 1 mole of magnesium oxide. Okay. Same 1 mole of magnesium oxide and dissolved in HCl to form 1 mole of magnesium chloride. Here 3 moles of magnesium combines with 1 mole of nitrogen forms 1 mole of magnesium nitride. Again 1 mole of magnesium nitride on dissolving in HCl form 3 moles of magnesium chloride and 2 moles of ammonium chloride. That is the based on the given sequential reactions in the process. And he has given 120 grams of magnesium. We don't know how much of that will react with oxygen and how much of that will react with the nitrogen. We don't know. So, we are not supposed to start with this data, students, because we don't know out of 120 how much is going to react with oxygen and how much is going to react with nitrogen. That is why it is not useful for us. And one more data is also given in the question. Students, observe it. 107 grams of ammonium chloride. Let me calculate the formula mass of ammonium chloride. 14,418 plus 35.5. So 53.5. It means 107, 53.5, 1 mole. Concentrate, students. But he has given 107. So indirectly he has given that 2 moles of ammonium chloride is formed. Right. So here see the balance equation. 2 moles is formed from 1 mole of magnesium nitride as per balanced equation. So requirement of magnesium is 1 mole. So come to this equation now, students. 1 mole is our requirement here. So how many moles of magnesium is needed to get 1 mole of magnesium nitride? 3 moles. So I am calculating here. I will write here 3 into 24 atomic mass 72 grams. It means out of 120 grams, 72 grams has been converted into magnesium nitride on reaction with the nitrogen. The remaining I am doing here 107, 72. 107, this is 72, 324s, okay, no doubt, 72, 5. Let me check once again, students. 320, 324, okay, 72 out of 120. Total 107, not 107, it is 120 students. Okay. So total 48 grams. Okay. Now what is atomic mass of magnesium? 24. 24. But our need here is 48 grams is left. So how many moles of magnesium are there? 2 moles of magnesium. Now we will go this sequence. Okay. Wait. 1 mole gives 1 mole, so 2 moles gives 2 moles. Now I got 2 moles of magnesium oxide. Write down here. Now I am going to explain this step. 1 mole gives 1 mole, so 2 moles gives 2 moles of magnesium chloride. This part is over. Now here 2 moles are forming ammonium chloride. So at the same time 3 moles of magnesium chloride also should be formed in this step. Total this 2 plus 3. So final answer, moles of magnesium chloride is equal to 2 plus 3, 5. An integer type question, students. Now let me explain in detail once again. These are the sequential reactions given to us. Just now I have written the moles based on the balanced chemical equations given to us. Observe it, students. Very important question and very simple also. It seems to be a big question, but very simple if you think logically, right? Now if you want to start with 120 grams of magnesium, we don't know how much of that 120 will combine with oxygen and how much of that 120 will combine with nitrogen. So this data is not useful for us. Okay, then one more data is given in the question. 107 grams of ammonium chloride. You concentrate. Molar mass of this is 53.5. It means he has given 2 moles. 2 moles. So again I come back to balanced equations. Itself it is balanced. He is saying 2 moles. 2 moles. So 2 moles should come from 1 mole. At the same time, along with 2 moles, 3 moles of magnesium chloride also have to be formed, and I have written here. Okay. Now 2 moles is coming from 1 mole of magnesium nitrate. Okay, leave that equation. Come to this equation. Here 1 mole is coming from 3 moles. So my requirement also here is 1 mole, 3 moles of magnesium. Magnesium atomic mass is 24. 3 into 24, that is 72 grams. Now you can come to a conclusion that out of 120 grams of magnesium given to you, 72 grams will be reacting with nitrogen to form nitrate. Remaining is 48 grams. So you have to utilize that 48 grams for first reaction. So 48 means 2 moles. 1 mole gives 1 mole, 2 mole gives 2 mole. Leave this. 1 mole gives 1 mole. My formation here is 2 mole. 2 mole also gives 2 mole. This 2 mole magnesium chloride, already 3 moles along with this. So 2 plus 3, 5. That is the final answer, students. And this question is having 2 types of approaches. Parallel reaction, reacting with same magnesium with oxygen and nitrogen both, and at the same time sequential reactions. Both are involving in this. You please note down. Let me go for the next question. Okay, students, let us go for the next question. Write down along with me now. For the following sequential reactions, write down, students. For the following sequential reactions, just RCN I am writing. I am writing the sequential reactions here, you please note it down. 2A gives rise to 3B plus C. On the arrow it is 80%. Next, 2B gives rise to 5D plus E. On the arrow it is 50%. Now the question is, how many moles of A, needed for the formation of 1.5 mole of D. 1.5 mole of D. Okay, students, I will repeat the question. He has given the set of sequence reactions, because product in this will be reactant for the second one, so sequential. And he is asking you to calculate how many moles of A, this one, needed for the formation of 1.5 moles of D, 1.5 moles of D. That is the question. Okay. If you observe this carefully, it involves two concepts: sequential reactions and as well as percentage yield. Percentage yield of first reaction is 80 and that of second reaction is 50. Now you have to apply both the concepts at the same time. Let me apply. Okay. Now what is the requirement? As 1.5 mole of D finally we should get. Before that I am going to write moles as usual, 2 moles, 3 moles, only required moles I am writing. Here 2 moles of B, so we will get 5 moles. Okay, leave this. Leave it. For the second one I am doing calculation. My requirement of D is 1.5 mole. Forget about this 50% for some time, students. First of all, without this let me explain. Come from how much? 2 moles will give 5 moles, 1.5 moles. 1.5 by 5 into 2, that is 0.6 mole. If this is not here, but he has given the percentage yield is 50% only, it means I am writing here itself for this calculation. 100 moles B, only 50 moles B. 100 moles will possess only 50 moles, only 50% is the reaction undergoing. So 0.6 moles B should be there for this. So how much moles I have to take? So 0.6 given by how much? 0.6 by 50 into 100, that is 1.2 mole. Now down, students, with 50% percentage yield, to get 1.5 mole of D, you should be given B as 1.2 moles. No doubt, no doubt. Okay, this step is over. So my requirement of B from the first reaction is 1.2 mole. Concentrate, students, very simple. Without this, first of all, let me calculate. 2 moles gives 3, but mine is 1.2. I am calculating here 1.2 by 3 into 2. How much? 0.4. So 0.8 mole. Without 80%, requirement is 0.8. 0.8. But he is saying only 80% reaction. It means I am writing here 100 mole gives 80 mole, but my requirement is 0.8. So how much? How much? 0.8 by 80 into 100, that is 1 mole. So my final answer is 1 mole of A. Let me explain once again, students. Here our target is to form 1.5 moles of D. Right. This is the second equation we should follow. 2 moles gives 5 mole. Forget about this 50% for some time. 1.5 moles should come from 0.6 as per stoichiometry, we can write. But it is given as 50%. So if you start with 100, you will get only 50 moles, B will undergo reaction. But my need is 0.6 mole B have to be reacted compulsory. So if 0.6, how much I have to take? So if I take 1.2 moles of B, then 50% of that 0.6 mole will react and forms 1.5 mole. So 1.2 mole of B is my final requirement, students. Let me go for the first equation in the sequence. Forget about 80% for some time. 2 moles gives 3 moles. 2 moles gives 3 moles. 1.2 moles should come from, I did the calculation here students, here itself I did the calculation. So 1.2 mole should come from 0.8 mole. But the reaction is only 80% percentage yield. It means 100 moles gives 80 moles. But my need here is for A 0.8 mole. So if you start with 1 mole, say for example I got answer as 1 mole. If you start with 1 mole, what is 80% of 1 mole? 0.8. Yes. 0.8 moles gives how much? 1.2 mole. And come to here 1.2 mole. 50%, 0.6 mole. You will get 1.5. Reverse also I have explained. This is the final answer. 1 mole should be set for advanced integer question students. Okay students. Up to now we have discussed many types of approaches under the heading stoichiometric calculations. With this I am going to finish off this and I am going to enter into idiometry, which is also a part of stoichiometric calculations. Involves only volume calculations. Why the name idiometry? Actually these calculations are experimentally determined calculations. Mainly we are using based on the experimental data with the help of a tube calibrated in milliliters called idiometer tube. This idiometry is nothing but simply you can say gas analysis. If you are having a mixture of gases, if you are able to measure the volumes of all the individual gases present in that mixture with the help of an idiometer tube, then that gas analysis with the help of that idiometer tube is called under the heading called idiometry, nothing more than that. It is simply involving only our volume calculations based on Gay-Lussac's law of combining volumes. And how these experiments will be conducted and how the volumes are measured. Suppose if you are having a mixture of 3 gases A, B and C. Say for example I am explaining A, B and C. We don't know, this is entirely a gas mixture. If one of the gas C is having a property absorbing into a compound, a chemical, say a chemical. If you, and this mixture is having say for example 100 ml volume under similar conditions, and C gas is having the property of absorbing into this. If you pass this mixture through this, C gas will be absorbed here. If you are able to calculate this volume by idiometer calibrated in milliliters, say for example if you got 60 ml, you are sending 100 ml through this chemical, where this chemical is able to absorb the gas C among 3, and finally you got the volume as only 60 ml. So here what is the volume of C there? 40 ml. So analysis of gas mixture. Again this mixture is passed through some other absorbent which can absorb B. Some volume will be decreased, remaining volume you will get, such that you will get the volume of B and C. So this type of approach is called gas analysis. If you are doing this with the help of an idiometer tube calibrated in milliliters, then you can call that process as idiometry. So under this heading we are going to learn which is going to be suitable absorbent for which gas. First of all, let me give some examples and then we can go for the numerical approach based on this idiometry. Okay students, observe here I have given the list of gas and adsorbent. at least these 5 we can remember for the calculations involving an idiometry concept. Carbon dioxide is usually absorbed by aqueous potassium hydroxide or sodium hydroxide. Write down, students. Carbon dioxide is usually absorbed by passing the gas mixture through aqueous KOH or sodium hydroxide. Oxygen gas is usually absorbed by alkaline pyrogalol. Alkaline pyrogalol. It is a chemical. Alkaline means basic. Pyrogalol. Pyrogalol means if you need the data, just I will write down. On benzene ring, 3 OH groups continuously. So you can also call it as 1,2,3 trihydroxy benzene. That is called as pyrogalol in the basic condition. Basic alkaline pyrogalol is used to absorb oxygen gas from the gas mixture. It means gas mixture you should pass through the alkaline pyrogalol where the oxygen will be absorbed automatically. Next, to absorb carbon monoxide, we are going to use ammonical cuprous chloride solution. Ammonical cuprous chloride. The moment if you pass the mixture of gases, if that mixture contains carbon monoxide, it is going to get absorbed into the ammonical cuprous chloride. Next, ozone. You can use either turpentine oil or silica gel. Ozone gas can be absorbed into these 2 chemicals, either turpentine oil or silica gel. Hydrogen is going to be adsorbed onto the surface of palladium metal. So, one should know at least this data to solve the numericals based on idiometry. Note down, students. After this, I will go for numericals based on idiometry. Okay, students, let me write down the first numerical under the heading idiometry. Please write down along with me. 15 ml of gaseous butane, 15 ml of gaseous butane is bond with 105 ml of oxygen, 105 ml of oxygen at room temperature and pressure. Right down, students. What will be the contraction in volume? What will be the contraction in volume? That is the question given to us, students. 50 ml of gaseous butane is bond with 105 ml of oxygen at room temperature and pressure. What will be the contraction in volume? He has given. Okay. Let me write the balanced chemical equation for the combustion reaction of butane. 4 carbons are there, so you should go for 4 CO2. 10 hydrogens are there, so you should write it as 5 H2O. I have already told you in the entire idiometry concept or in the volume calculations, you please consider H2O as always liquid unless the temperature is mentioned as 100 degrees centigrade. Don't forget about that. If he mentioned as 100 degrees centigrade, you can take that one also as gas. Don't forget about that, very important. Now balance the oxygens. 4 into 2, 8 plus 5, 13. So you should balance this with 13 by 2 oxygens. Here 15 ml of gaseous butane undergoing combustion, here burnt. Burnt means completely combustion, undergoing combustion. So 15 ml. Moles I am writing now, 1 mole. 13 by 2 mole forms 4 moles. Don't write H2O because it will be liquid. Only contraction in volume he is asking. Okay. This is gas, he has given gas and gas. Only contraction of a gas volume we have to calculate. Okay, right. Now 15 ml for gas phase reactions or mixtures. Moles ratio is equal to volumes ratio. So 15 ml needs 15 into 13 by 2 ml. Here 15 into 4 ml you will get. Okay, this 15 ml will be consumed, and this 15 into 13 by 2 ml of oxygen is consumed. Oxygen is consumed. Okay, and 15 into 460 ml is formed. I am writing contraction in volume. Contraction. Volume of reactants minus volume of products. What is the volume of reactants given to us finally? 15 ml of this and 105 ml, because out of 105 we don't know whether it is going to involve all the oxygen in the combustion or not, we don't know. Students, let me explain. Okay. Contraction is equal to 105 plus 15, total 120 ml. Here there is some unreacted oxygen, because oxygen he has given as 105 ml. Out of that consumed is 97.5 only. So 7.5 is left unreacted, you have to subtract that, and 60 ml of that is going to be formed. So volume of reactants minus volume of products will give rise the contraction in volume. So total it is 120 minus 67.5, that is it is 52.5 ml. So that is our final answer, 52.5 ml. Once again I will repeat the question. See here, according to mole ratio, 1 mole needs the 13 by 2 moles to form 4 mole. For gas reactions, moles ratio is equal to volumes ratio. So if 15 ml is burnt, he has given. So 15 ml needs 15 into 13 by 2 ml forms 15 into 4 ml, because you are not supposed to disturb the mole ratio. 1 is to 13 by 2 is to 4. That's what I did. Okay. Now if you observe here, this you will get only as 97.5 ml, but oxygen volume is given as 105. The remaining is 7.5 ml. So out of 120 ml, 105 ml, 7.5 is left unreacted. So finally, how we have to calculate the contraction in volume? Contraction in volume always gives the volume of reactants minus volume of products. Volume of reactants total I have taken 120 ml. Out of that 7.5 ml of oxygen left unreacted. So it will be in the products also. That's why I have subtracted 7.5. And 60 ml of carbon dioxide is formed. So I have subtracted 60 also. So finally you will be left with 52.5 ml. Contraction will take place during the combustion of this particular gaseous butane given to us. Please note it down. Then we will go. Write down, students. A mixture of, write down, a mixture of formic acid and oxalic acid is treated with is treated with concentrated sulfuric acid and the gaseous product is passed through write down, and the gaseous product is passed through aqueous potassium hydroxide, where the volume, just VOL I am writing, where the volume decreased by 1/6. Calculate the mole percent of compounds in the original mixture. Calculate the mole percent of the compounds in the original mixture. He has given mixture of two acids, formic acid and oxalic acid. Let me write down the formula. Formic acid, oxalic acid. A mixture he has given. We don't know how many moles of this and how many moles of this. That's what we have to find out in this question. Now both are, that mixture has been treated with concentrated sulfuric acid. I am writing the reactions. Formic acid, here concentrated sulfuric acid acts as dehydrating agent, removing water. So it will give the product carbon monoxide gas and H2O liquid. Here also it gives a mixture of carbon monoxide, carbon dioxide gas and H2O. Sir, you know you are writing the equations, but we don't know. We will know these equations once you are able to complete 4th year group elements in the first academic year syllabus. Because of that I am giving the equations to you. Okay? Now see. All these two are balanced or not? Let us check. Okay, balanced. Here also balanced. Okay, these two are balanced chemical equations. We don't know how much of this and how much of this. Let me consider this as X mole and this as Y mole. As per balanced equation, 1 mole gives 1 mole. So X moles gives X moles carbon monoxide, right? Now 1 mole of oxalic acid on dehydrating with concentrated sulfuric acid, we will get 1 mole of monoxide and 1 mole of dioxide. So Y moles should give Y mole and Y mole. Okay. And moreover, these are gases. Two gases are there, monoxide and dioxide of carbon. And if you go through the question, what exactly he is asking, and he has given one more data. After reaction, after treating with sulfuric acid, the gaseous product obtained has been passed through aqueous KOH according to idiometry concept. The aqueous KOH is going to absorb carbon dioxide gas. Here carbon dioxide gas is there. Not going to absorb monoxide. It can absorb only dioxide. Okay. If the mixture is passed through this, carbon dioxide gas will be absorbed and the volume is decreased by 1/6. Decreased by 1/6. So what is the actual volume? For gas mixtures or reactions, we know moles ratio is equal to volumes ratio. Moles also we can take it as volumes, no problem. Carbon monoxide, carbon dioxide. Here I am writing, students, so please concentrate here. Carbon monoxide x plus y, volumes I am taking, moles or volumes, both are same almost, ratio becomes the same because gas mixtures, carbon dioxide is only y. So total it is x plus 2y. If you consider this as total volume, x plus 2y should be decreased by 1/6, decreased by 1/6. Why it has been decreased by 1/6? Because of the absorption of carbon dioxide. Because of the absorption of carbon dioxide. So you have to equate this to carbon dioxide. So y. So x plus 2y is equal to 6y. So x is equal to 4y. Students, this is x is equal to 4y. So I am writing here x by y is equal to 4 by 1. So mole ratio is 4:1. So our answer is 4:1. Let me explain once again. Formic acid gives monoxide and H2O. Oxalic acid gives monoxide and dioxide. And I don't know, I have taken as x moles and y moles. X moles gives x, y moles gives y mole, y mole. Total moles of gases are x plus 2y. For gas phase reactions, moles ratio is equal to volumes ratio. That's why x plus 2y decreased by 1/6. The decrease is due to the absorption of carbon dioxide, that is y. So finally I got it as x is equal to 4y. So answer is 4:1. Okay, I am going to end this session with this question, students. And tomorrow we will go for some more numericals based on idiometry. Thank you.